Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Neil and the Range Monkey, and we are going to recreate a shooting problem from a video that played on Asp. It's been a while back. It's an older one, but it's one that has some counter ambush opportunities, and we just want to test some of the timing, see where we're at with life and what we can do. So join us, would you?
Wilderness Tactical has been around for longer than the gun you're carrying has been, and they have been making high quality products for concealed carriers for literally decades. I wear their low pro belt every year. The webbing is the best in the industry, and I won't wear anything else. If you're looking for a good CCW belt, check them out.
All right, Natalie, so this one played, I think it's like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. It's an older one. Okay. John still has a beard, so it's at least that old, right? But the scenario was this. There was a guy, and we'll play the video for you, potentially while you're listening to me talk. That's playing the action from that. But it's a food truck scenario where this guy walks in with a shotgun. Now his is a pistol grip shotgun, but I wanted to show off my cool orange one a little bit. But anyway, he walks in with a shotgun and he threatens, and it's the 12th time that he's done this. So he's done this a lot. So he's got a little experience, but he's a typical robber that, you know, is kind of like a cat on a hot tin roof, is looking around, looking for the, you know, for more danger, for all of that kind of stuff. And so he looks away multiple times. And, you know, we always talk about if they show you the back of their head and you've got about a 2-second draw to first shot, you are ahead in the fight. So again, you got to know what your draw to first shot is, but that's a whole nother video. You need to go learn that. We'll talk about that in probably some other videos that we're even going to make today. However, we just want to see, and let's test what it takes with the head turned. How fast can we get a shot off? But Natalie, what I'm going to have you do is not point the gun at anybody, but you're going to walk down, and clearly you see that we've got a high dollar set here, but this represents the kind of the alleyway in the trailer that they were in and where he was standing. So go down there. It was 3 to 4 yards. This was not a big trailer, but you can see that that's where the bad guy was standing, and our good people that were being robbed, there were 2 of them, were about this far away. So 3 to 4 yards, you know, I would just have to guess, but so we're at about 4 yards at this point. And so when we do this test, first thing we're going to do is we're going to slide a paper target in, and we're going to have, I've got 3 shooters today, and we're going to actually kind of do what he did, look away, and then we're going to have an audible beep that says, you know, the beep on my timer, and we're going to time how long does it take to turn, see our sights, and get a shot, or even pull the trigger. How fast can that happen once we've got our head turned? And we're just going to see what the average is for us that shoot a fair amount, and then we're going to actually flip the scenario. We'll put one of the rubber dummies down there, let him be the bad guy, and then we're going to draw to first shot and see how we do there, and see if we could have beat ourselves, I guess, in this scenario. So with that said, Natalie, you come on down here and I'll set up the paper. Okay, so I'll do the first one. Natalie, I'll give you the timer. You're just going to kind of stand behind me here. You're going to give me a shooter ready. Stand by. I'll turn my head, and kind of his body leaned back, you saw, so he wasn't really prepared to shoot, I don't think. He was doing something weird with his trigger finger. I don't know if he didn't have his middle finger on the trigger. It's hard to tell from the video, but you could just see from his body language that, you know, he wasn't really prepared to shoot. He was really threatening and expecting people, because he'd done it enough times and everybody had submitted to him. This is not always a bad plan either. You know, we know about, you know, what is it? 25% of the time, you get hurt in an armed robbery if you're the victim. So that means 75% of the time he's going to take your money and walk away. That doesn't talk about the stuff that you live with forever and the regret of not doing something if you could have. But that's a whole nother video as well. So we're here to test the kind of the math of all of this. So now I'm going to have you stand back where I'm going to get my ears on.
All right, and the timer is ready?
Yeah, let me get my ears on.
You're good, you're good.
Okay, so if he is standing about right here, now I'm gonna take, I'll leave the safety on as well. I don't know where he was as far as safety and all of that kind of stuff, but he's threatening like this. Now he's got the pistol grip and it's up here. If he does pull the trigger, he's gonna have a heck of a black eye unless he really knows push-pull technique. I'm gonna stand like so, and when I turn my head like this, you give me a shooter ready standby, just like we normally would with the timer, and then I'm gonna turn, see my sights, and pull the trigger just to see what that would take, okay?
All right.
So from kind of a ready, And I think based on his body language, I don't know what his feet did, but I don't think his feet were really in a shooting angle either, which would have added time. So I'm gonna point my toe that way. So I'll have to turn to shoot. I can probably do this pretty quick. We'll see what this takes. But understand, he's not getting an audible sound. He doesn't have any of that. All he knows is these people are digging through the register. So, all right, are you ready?
All right.
Okay,
Yep.
so let me see how that works. Okay.
All right, shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by.
Okay. What'd I get?
135.
135. I turned pretty quick. Okay,
That was
so
pretty fast.
that means that if it's me holding the shotgun, you got to have a pretty quick draw. All right. So now bring the camera over here and we'll show the target. I saw my sights, got a good A-zone hit right there. So that would have been a bad day. I'm shooting bird shot today, but that would have been a bad day for any good guy. So Natalie, your turn.
All right. Oops.
Remember how to run that thing?
Kind of.
I got it back on safe. So just drop
Might
it in
have
there.
to, like that?
Yep. Hit the release.
Ooh.
No, hit the release. Just no, you don't have to do that. Now, even if it's down like that, all you gotta do is hit.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's been a while since we've shot shotguns.
Yeah, I haven't done shotguns in a while.
Right? Okay.
All right. So,
All right. So you're just gonna look to the back. Remember your safety's on, so you gotta take your safety off.
okay, after the standby?
No, after the beep.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All right. So you're looking backwards. Stand by. All right. So Natalie's at a 176.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shooter. Target looks exactly, you went through the same place I did, so we can show you the target. Go ahead and let's have Jake try it.
All right.
These kids that don't know how to run shotguns just make me giggle. Marine. If it had a crayon on it, he'd know what to do. All right, are you ready? Stand by. There we go. Okay, so again, a third shot through the same hole. Jake was at about a 228. So again, probably not a ton of shotgun work either, but a perfect hit, but in 228. So now what we got is an average of what, 1.7-ish between the three of us. So if we know that's kind of our average, let's see if we can beat that average from the other way. So we're gonna flip the script here a little bit. We can put the shotgun on the table and I'm gonna move a rubber dummy in there. So here now. Okay, so now we're from about the same place, same distance, but everything's switched. So Jake, bring the camera over here and show them what I'm looking at. So now I've got a bad guy down here. Let's just pretend he's got a shotgun. Of course, we're on a range and we're just testing some of the math here. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna give me a beep that is, now it's an audio signal, so it's different. My go signal in the scenario is he turns his head. As soon as I see the back of his head, it takes him about 2 seconds to turn back around, see me, recognize what I'm doing, and pull the trigger. So it isn't just that if he turns his head really quick, that's how long it takes for the human brain to process all of this. So I've got about 2 seconds. On average. Now I know that when I did the shotgun, I was like a 1.3, so I need to be below that to beat myself on this thing. I haven't been doing a ton of dry fire. I've got a little bit of an injury going on with my shoulder, so I'm a little rusty, so I'm nervous how this is gonna work.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, so, and I'm gonna start from, they had their hands up, so I'll start from the hands up position and see what I can do. And I have not drawn, oh man, I haven't drawn for a day or two. This is gonna be fun. All right, so the other thing that they had was their feet were turned towards the register. So from when he turns his head, I'm gonna turn and shoot and see how that works, see what that does to my round. So they had their feet kind of pointed this direction, so that's what I'm gonna do. Hands up. When you're ready, Nat.
All right, stand by.
Okay, so I put 2 shots through the same hole in his belly. Come on over and show. Yeah, 1-2 right through the same hole there, which was a little low. But what was my time?
It was 144.
So 144. So I was a little behind myself even.
Yeah.
Now hold on. No, it was 144 to the second shot, Natalie.
Oh, sorry. I don't know how to read it.
So it was 1-2 to the first shot. I don't know if you can read that or not. So I was ahead of him and I got the second shot off about the same time he would have pulled the trigger had he been able to do that. So I'm ahead of him in this game with the movement and everything. So let's try you, Nat.
All right, let's do it. All right. So turned this way with the hands up.
Yep.
And then when I hear the beep, I'm going to draw and shoot. Okay.
Yep. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Stand by. Okay. All right, so Natalie's draw first shot was a 154, and then her second shot was a 181. So you see the big one up top. The first one is the smaller numbers there, if you can see that. So Natalie, you are ahead, and you did the same thing I did, but then you fixed your second shot and hit him in the chest. Again, when we're shooting at bad guys, we can shoot more than once. So it isn't just to draw the first shot. Yeah, you could have bill drilled this guy if you wanted to, and so that's what we're going to ask Jake to do when he runs it. All right. Okay, are you ready? Yep. Stand by. Well, that was the only 2 for a bill drill. That wasn't great, Jake. But however, just kidding you. So his draw to first shot was a 179. Stay there because now you have to do a bill drill. And second shot was at a 202. So both of his were ahead of his shotgun run and above and at the average that we talk about. So you got 2 shots off in the 2 seconds. So this time I want you to shoot 6. Do you have 6 in the gun?
Yes.
Okay. Are you ready? Yep. Stand by. Oh, there you go. All right, so slow down a little on the draw to a flat 2 seconds on the draw, which is still ahead of your time on the shotgun, and then all of them in 299. So, Nat, bring the camera over here and let's show our hits. So in the amount of time that it would have taken him to process, you got at least the first shot into him, and then multiple shots following up right here. All of those are good shots. Those are way better than mine. This was mine down here. So you worked into the center of that. Very good shooting. Guys, this is the challenge that we see from this, and we talk about processing time. Now, it's going to be different for people because there are human averages, where I turned a little bit faster and got my shot a little bit quicker. Natalie was a little bit different. You were a little bit different, but the human average is about 2 seconds to process that. And the way that it really works is that you have to turn around and visually your eyes have to see it, and then that sends a signal to your brain, and then your brain has to figure out what that means, and then your brain has to come up with a plan, and that every one of these things takes about a quarter to a half a second, and then it has to send a signal to your trigger finger and your eyes back to get a sight picture so I can pull the trigger, and now I need to pull the trigger. So all of those impulses take just a little bit of time. So what we see that if they give us the back of their head and we are under 2 seconds draw to first shot, we can be ahead in the fight. Again, it doesn't mean we win the fight. There's all luck counts in this as well. But as we looked at that thing, I couldn't really tell that he had his trigger on the finger or finger on the trigger, and I couldn't really tell that. I mean, he was futzing with the gun a little bit. That's an indicator that maybe is this even real? Does he have ammo in the thing? There's lots of different things that you have to process quickly as a self-defender, and then you have to make a decision. Do I have what I need today to end this fight? I know there's a lot of people that are at sub-second draws or think they're at sub-second draws, but don't go to the range very much. And you guys have hopefully seen me on video before. I can pull a .7, on a good day, and I'm right at 1 on an average day. With this thing, I am now nowhere near that, so I'm considerably slower. So I have to calculate that in to my algorithm as I make decisions on what I'm going to do, and so do you. So if you aren't going to the range fairly regularly, if you're not doing a fair amount of dry fire so that you know your math, you probably want to wait even longer than what you think you need, because the math and the human science averages are that if he shows you his ear hole and you're about 1.5 seconds, you're ahead in the fight. If you're at a sub-second and he just glances away, just basically turns his nose, you're ahead. He cannot focus. The human eye can only focus on about the thumbnail, and our brain fills the rest of this in. And so the amount of time it takes to reprocess all of that and then get back into the fight, you're ahead when you might not think you are. But again, if you don't know what your math is, you're giving yourself trouble. And in a lot of classes that we take, and a lot of the things the classes that we give, we'll ask people, where do you feel like your draw to first shot is? And a lot of people, I'm about a 1.5, and then you go test it, and they're about a 3, sometimes a 5-second draw to first shot, because they don't do this all the time. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make your mama fat or your baby ugly. It just means that's what your math is. So if you know what your math is, you can defend yourself. And I think a lot of us think we're defenders that don't do a lot of work. We carry this as kind of a whoopee that, well, this is going to be the magic talisman that takes care of all of our problems. And in a lot of cases, if we don't know our math, we're getting ourselves in trouble. So what I would recommend for you to do, if you can, go to a range, set up at about 4 yards with a target like that, and test your draw to first shot, because it's not just 4 yards. Now, if this had been a bigger trailer, it could have been 7 yards. If it had been, out in a parking lot, it could have been 10 yards. So you need to know your math at different distances. And so that's something that we don't work on enough, I don't think. But I think if you can go to the range, a range that will allow you to draw, they don't all let you do that. But you can do this in dry fire as well. You can get like a laser academy, you can get the ACE stuff, and you can work on some of this stuff in the privacy of your home. But ultimately, I think you need to get to the range and test it once. So go to the range, let me know what you learned.